under the age of 18, a student, you just left secondary school.
Yes.
And you hadn't yet gotten into the university.
Yes.
You say something happened to you. Yeah? Something very painful, you know, beyond painful. Can you tell us what that is? Tell me what that is.
It's I have to say, like, this is the first time I'm going to be coming out, like, public to discuss this with someone.
Yeah.
It's only my family members and definitely my husband that knows about it. Okay.
Take your time.
I was still in secondary school and I came home. Meanwhile, then I was staying in Ilorin with my parents. I was born in Ilorin. You know, I went to my primary school in Ilorin, but my secondary school, I went to Gifted School Academy in Suleja.
Right. This was still in Kwara? Both Suleja and Ilorin in Kwara?
No, Suleja is Niger State, close to Abuja.
Right.
So I returned home for a particular holiday, and then my sisters, they all told me, oh, they are now going to a particular, like a club, you know, but it's not a church.
Right.
It's a club. They were doing their services on Saturday. It was more like a gathering of young people to just come and dance, praise God, and listen to the word of God. That was how they explained to me. And the kind of person I was then, I was this kind of person. I was the vice president of the fellowship in school. I believed in tying hair to church, you know. I didn't really want anything hip-hop, you know, jumping, that kind of gathering. So immediately my sisters told me that that's the kind of gathering. You meet a lot of people. You meet prostitutes that have given their lives to Christ. You meet cultists that have given their lives to Christ. I was like, isn't it scary to be in the midst of all these people that I don't think I want to go. They're just like, Busola, just come. I reluctantly went. And I saw the different people that were there. It was clear I was the youngest. So I was always pinching my sister because the way they were dancing, I felt, no, this is not it now. This looks like a club, you know. But then it was like, this is like a new way of reaching out to people to know God. So I was there. They said time for first timer to stand up. I stood up and I introduced myself. My name is Busola Dakolo, secondary school. Then I now shipped it in that I explained my journey there, that I didn't want to come here. I thought people would be like on serious set of people. You know, how can people be praising God like this? But listening to the word of God, you know, seeing people talk, it's really amazing, and I'm so excited that I came here. I was really a bold child, like I could speak up in any gathering. So after the meeting, that was where Pastor Biodun preached, Biodun Fatoyinbo, he preached. After I finished preaching, he came to meet me after the service, after the meeting.
Is the general overseer of the Commonwealth Zion Assembly.
Yes,
Koza.
Yes, is the senior pastor there. But then it wasn't Koza.
Yes,
it was called Divine Delight Club.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't yet a church.
It wasn't yet a church. It was just like, and he wasn't married then, but he was engaged to his present wife. So that's how he came to me, and he was like, such a bold young lady. Like, I've never seen someone like this. You know, it was like, wow, you need to keep the fire. That, please, can you do something in the next meeting before I go to school? He asked when I'll be going back to school. So I said, okay, what can I do? That I can sing. I'll just try to sing, not like I can sing very well. He said, oh yes, that's great. That he plays the keyboard. That he would help me out, would rehearse together, things like that. So I told my sisters, and I felt, why do I have to be part of this your club thing? I don't want to be part of it now. But my sisters told me that I should not be too judgmental, you know, because my thinking of Christianity then was a bit different. was kind of like solemn, you know. That was how...
What they call deeper life.
Yeah, sort of, you know. That's how I was then. So I decided, okay, I can't remember the particular day of the week, but my sister now took me to his house then.
Right.
He was living with his father.
Right.
The wife too there will be there sometimes, I guess, because that particular day she was there as well.
Right.
So I entered the
When
living
did
room.
sister take you to his house?
Because I was meant to do rehearsal.
Right, for this thing that he invited
yes,
you
for that next meeting that I
Yes.
was meant to sing.
Yes.
So she left me there, entered the living room. He was already seated with the keyboard.
Right.
And as at then, I didn't have a phone,
Right.
no mobile phone. Even in my house, we didn't have any landline. So it was more like, I've already told you this, just work it out, you know, come at that time.
Right, right.
So that's how I rehearsed. And
So this was his father's house?
yes,
Right.
his father's house in the father's living room. So he asked me what kind of song. I think I even remember the song, you know.
What song was it?
I will serve you because I love you. You have given life to me. Something like that. So I'm not a great singer. So I sang it my way, and then it was like, oh, great, rehearsed. I went back home. And the next meeting, I did the song. And as I was singing, someone came out to give his life to Christ. I got to realize the guy was actually even in cult, you know. So it was really a very touchy.
Where did the person come out of? So
from the congregation.
So okay,
like,
so you went to his house, you did this rehearsal.
Yes.
Then you did the thing the next meeting.
Yes.
Right.
I sang the next meeting.
It wasn't a Sunday, it was a
no,
weekday.
Saturday.
Right.
Saturday. It wasn't a Sunday service, just Saturday gathering, Saturday evening.
So when you were singing, this person came to give his life to
Yes,
Christ.
yes. So after the program, everybody, different people walked up to me that is like, you have that gift, that calling, just keep serving God, you know. Different people encouraged me. It was so clear to everyone that this girl, she's a very, very young girl, you know. So he walked up to me and he said, wow, just keep the fire burning.
That's Biodun.
Yes,
right.
That's Pastor Biodun.
Yeah.
He walked up to me and he said, keep the fire burning, that I'm going to give you books and cassettes as you're going back to school. Just be focused, don't listen to people, you know, things like that. And he gave me books. It wasn't on the spot there.
Right.
I don't remember whether he sent it down, but I got books from him and cassettes. It was cassettes then.
Right.
So audio cassettes.
Right.
So I took them back to school. I even showed my friends in school. I gave them the old gist about this new place that my sister took me to, and you know, that's how it was. And by the time I finished secondary school, I returned back to Ilorin.
Right.
And I was still contemplating, should I join this church?
You were not still fully comfortable?
Yes, yes. Because I went back to school. The kind of fellowship in school was totally different from what I experienced during the holiday. So it was more like I was living a dual life, you know. So I really wanted to come in terms with the particular belief that I want to flow with. Am I going to be like the FCS, the way I was in school, or I'm ready to join this kind of new environment? So I told my sisters, and they were like, see, this man is warded, he's now a church. It's Commonwealth of Zion Assembly.
Right. By the time you came back from school, it was already a church.
Yes, it was now already a church. So that's how I joined the church. When I joined the church, I joined the choir. Then we were at we're using a particular mall, Adamabola, or like that in Ilorin. There was a supermarket downstairs. So I was part of the choir. I would go for my rehearsals, everything. I just wanted to serve God because my background is I'm from a polygamous family, and seeing some things play out in the family, I didn't want my life to be like that. Like more or less like when I was in secondary school, as I was coming out, you know, all this send forth that they are doing for you, and they're telling you you are going into the world. You know, I was beginning to get scared of this world, like, so I was having that mind that I want the kind of world that will make me happy. And since I was already a Christian, I was just like, hold on to Christ, that's all. So I wanted to serve in a church, you know, just be zealous for God the way I was already zealous in school. So I joined the choir, and I wasn't talking to anybody. I would just do my own thing. My sisters were involved in self-fellowship. We would go for evangelism together, and
but you were still in your shell. You were still afraid of this world that it told you to be careful about.
Yeah. And again, you know, because it was a bit difficult for me to really integrate myself into the church, because of where I was coming from. The FCS was totally different. Yes.
What's FCS?
Not even Fellowship of Christian Students, something like that, you know. So I joined choir, and then one day they told me, oh, even sing a song now, lead. I couldn't really sing very well, but I sang. And one particular day, Pastor Biodun now came to me. It was like, that you don't like to talk, how are you? You know, you just look at me, how are you? Hope you're good and everything. Just be like, I'm fine. And then he started coming to my house.
Right.
And all of us in my family, we were so active in church. When I mean extremely active in church, more like the Amokitans are so passionate about Kosa, so passionate about Commonwealth. Anywhere we'd go, we'd just keep dragging everybody to the church, dragging everybody, just come to church, come for self-fellowship, things like that. And we were going through our own personal family issues, quite all right.
Did it have to do with the fact that it was a polygamous family, or what were the issues?
Yeah, my father wasn't always around, you know, and then right from secondary school, we're already facing financial issues. And while I was in secondary school, there were times I would go to school without provisions, but nobody knew. I was very good at coping with things. Not discussing with people, you know. I just needed to let me study well, come out of school, enter university, and get a good job. You know, I really wanted to be there for my mom in particular, because I just felt she had gone through a lot, you know, things like that. This particular time in church, he came to meet me. That's Pastor Biodun, and then he said, I noticed you're always all by yourself.
So you came to meet you in church? What?
Yes, like after a fellowship. Like you're always all by yourself, things like that. Hope you're good, you know. So I said yes. So he said he was going to come to my house the next day.
Had you ever done that before?
No, no.
So it was because he said he wanted to find, I guess, wanted to find out more about why you were quiet.
Yes, he just wanted to sort of know more about me, things like that, because we were always going to church. I guess people sensed something was wrong, like in terms of family. Maybe we didn't even have money, things like that, but we never opened up to anyone. We would just take care of our own business. There were days we would go to church, no food, but then we'll go back home and sort out issues, you know. So the next day, he came to my house in the morning, and then my mom was in the kitchen. So I told my mom that, my pastor is here. He came in, he greeted my mom, and then I told my mom that, my pastor says he's going to buy some things on Taiwo Road, that I should just accompany him, you know. So I remember that particular day, my mom was like, Sola, which one is this one now? She said it in Yoruba. I was not like, Mommy, it's my pastor now. I'm like, there's nothing, you know. So my mom said, okay, no problem, greeted him. As in, my mom saw that, he left with me. So he was driving a white Mercedes-Benz here, like the old, I don't know the model, but old white Mercedes-Benz. And that was where we sort of started interacting. And he started talking, like, you don't say things, you're always quiet, what's wrong, you know. So he was talking, I want to be a spiritual father to you. So at that point, even though in my world, I'm always very mindful of people around me. Like when I was small, because when I was like 10, one of my dad's drivers just looked at me one way. I slapped the man. Like, why are you looking at me like that, you know? So immediately I was about to just put up a guard, you know, but then it was just able to like just break it. I just want to be like the father, somebody you can always interact with. And then really I didn't have like a good relationship with my dad.
He was always traveling, you say. He was not always at home.
Yes, at home. And then my sisters were all busy running their own lives, and I had my fears of all this thing of, you're about to enter university, there's a whole lot for you to know about this new environment. It really I felt stifled in a way, you know, and I was a bit glad, like, oh, I have someone to interact with. So it wasn't that particular conversation that made me to open up to him, but it was more like within me, I just felt relaxed, like, okay, you know. He just talked and he went to buy what he wanted to buy. He dropped me back home. Then after some days again, he came to my house that, okay, he was going, because the church was about to move from that particular location to another location that is like Wonderland, that's where they call it. So we would go to that site to go and see. So he took me that particular day again to go and see that place. We just talked that he's doing this. He just wants me to be talking to someone. And meanwhile, all these interactions, he asked me one time, do you have a boyfriend? I was like, no, I don't have a boyfriend. I'm a virgin, like nothing. And he was like, oh, that's really good. That just keep yourself, you know, don't listen to all these people, even all these church boys and church choir members. So it was good. It felt like good advice, definitely. So
felt like someone who was supporting you and who was helping, you know, listening to you.
And concerned about me as well, you know. So it sort of just, I became relaxed, like nothing, until a particular day, which was a Monday. I remember the previous day was a Sunday service, and because there was no telephone, no mobile phone.
It was before GSM.
Yes, I didn't know, and it came to my house. Meanwhile, my house then was, the gates opened. The living room is where you just knock the door, and someone will come downstairs and open the door. And this time my mom had traveled with my younger sister. It was just myself and one of my elder sister that was at home, and my house, like a duplex, was a duplex so big that if you're in a room upstairs down, you won't know what's going on downstairs, things like that. So I came down normally the way I come down, it was like 6:30 to 7. It was pretty early.
Right.
I was still in my nightwear. I was wearing a gown, my nightwear, and I heard the knock. Who is that? Pastor Biodun. I was first of all like, I couldn't say anything, like, what's this time?
So early?
But immediately I just opened the door. It just pushed me. He didn't say anything. He didn't utter any word. He just pushed me to one of the chairs in my living room, and I saw him like he was removing his belt. So I was like, what? He just said, keep quiet, do what I want you to do, and you'll be fine. So at this point, really, a whole lot was just going on in my head, because it was more like someone that had put up here that I felt was really, really concerned about me. I had already felt him in the place of like a father that could speak to me, you know, guide me. He was there about to do something I did not believe. And then when I was just about to react, he just covered my mouth. And when he covered my mouth, I was just like, Busola, listen to me and you'll be fine. Just do what I want you to do. I didn't struggle. I didn't struggle. I just left him, and he brought out his pennies, and I was wearing a nightgown. I was wearing pants, pulled down my pants, and that was how he found difficulty to enter, but he just kept, I was like grunting, I would cry, I was just doing a whole lot of mixed feelings and all that, and he eventually penetrated, even blood dropped on the floor. And at that point, he finished what he wanted to do. He had an orgasm and he zipped up. He left me there. I just sat on the floor and he went out. So when he went out, sorry, just hold on a minute.
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time.
Because the thing, this particular time, as it looks like something that just happened, like an event, but a whole lot are damaged within me. As in, I don't even know how to define it. A whole lot. He entered his car. All I saw was he came back and he brought Crest.
What is Crest? Toothpaste?
No, a drink then.
Mouthwash?
No, a drink.
Like a soft drink?
Yeah, like a soft drink.
Right.
It was Crest. It had green contents.
Right. I do remember. I think I remember Crest.
Yeah,
yes.
So it was already opened.
Right.
He had opened it and he just poured it in my mouth.
Why? I mean,
I don't know. So he poured it in my mouth and I had to just be swallowing it as he was pouring, swallowing it. And he finished and he was now tapping me like, you should be happy I'm the one that did this to you.
Okay. Okay.
So, and then he left. He said, I'll see you. He left. But I should be happy. That is the one that did it to you. There is a man of God that did this to me.
You should be happy that the man of God
disvirgined me, sort of.
Okay, sorry. Let me be sure that I get this chain of events. And I'm sorry, because this is obviously a difficult thing.
Yeah, it's fine.
So you're saying that Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo, and he was a pastor at this time.
Yes.
He has set up this church called Koza in Ilorin.
Yes, he was married. The wife had given birth.
Oh, and he had the child.
Yes, the wife had given birth to Shindara then.
Oh, right.
Very little baby.
Boy. And you were in the choir?
Yes.
He'd like to be your spiritual father.
Yes.
And so based on that, he would come and visit you to help, encourage you and support you.
Yeah.
And then one morning, Biodun Fatoyinbo comes into your house at dawn at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And without saying anything to you, when you open the door, he pushes you onto a chair.
Yeah.
He tells you to shut up.
Yeah.
And then he rapes you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so he says, I'm sorry about this, but
it's fine.
I'm sorry. And then he tells you he shuts your mouth, literally.
Yeah.
And then does this.
Yeah.
And then ejaculates, has an orgasm or whatever.
Yeah.
And then goes out, gets a drink, a soft drink, so he doesn't say anything to you apart. He goes out, gets a drink.
Yeah.
And you were so, according to you, were so overwhelmed, you couldn't even scream. You didn't even, you were overwhelmed.
Yeah, it was, at some point, I raised my voice.
Yeah.
But when he told me, and again, at that point, when I joined the church then, and my sisters used to say, oh, he used to be part of a cult group, something,